Good morning, everybody. I hope you're having a fantastic day. I toast to you. I believe your coffee or your tea or whatever. I hope everybody's having a grand day, evening, whatever it may be for you. Today, we're going to talk about patience. So, even as a grown-up with children and all of this stuff, I still have trouble with patience. And I have to remind myself to just take a breath, let it happen, and be patient. And now that I'm having this transition and that's kind of sinking in, it's just a crazy lesson that I wish I would have learned earlier in my life. And also in my practice. When you start out on the pagan path, first thing you want to do is a spell, and then you want to do a ritual, and then you want to meet the divine, and then you want to do all of these great things and have these experiences that people talk about. And they don't always happen right away, or sometimes you do a spell and it doesn't work for a long time, or it doesn't work at all. Sometimes you do something and an instant gratification, like, yes, why can't everything be like that? And with the way that the internet is and the world is and communication and all of the things that we have with modern technologies, that instant gratification is something that we're really used to. And I think that people want to put that into their practice. And if you start asking nature for instant gratification, she's going to laugh in your face. Period, hands down, that's what it is. Very few things in nature happen fast or instantly or in that moment. Everything takes time. And sometimes the more time that something takes, the more beautiful it is or the more wonderful it is. If you think about it, like an insect, like a fly, their gestation time is very short. Their life is very short, and it is. And however, I'm sure they have amazing experiences and they experience the world in this amazing, unique way from that perspective. It's short. It's only this tiny little bit and everything happens so quickly. I've seen a thing where they hypothesize that bees are in like crazy manic state all the time. Bzzz, and so their brains are moving that fast. I can't imagine that. Can you imagine if the whole world went like that? Be so productive. Probably explode. But then when you start thinking about animals that have longer gestation times and spend more time on this earth, the experiences that they have are fulfilling in a way that they're rounded, they're roundabout, they're full. And so when you're thinking about your magic or meditating or meeting the divine or any of those kind of things, you want to have that full experience. You don't want it to be a wham bam and be done. You want that full experience. You want to taste it and feel it and hear it and use all of your senses to experience it. And if you don't have patience, then you're going to miss out on that. If you're sitting there thinking, when is this going to happen? 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 You're not letting that experience sink in and be present. It's being in the moment, focusing on what you need to focus on, because you're focused on being impatient. Oh, is this going to happen? Is this going to happen? Is this going to happen? So just relax, take a deep breath, focus on something else. Focus on something that's right in front of you. Focus on this moment. Focus on just something different. Focus on being patient, on letting the experience happen as it's meant to happen. When you think about a flower growing, and when you plant that seed, even if you give it a bunch of hormones and you make it go fast, you're like, oh, that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get a better, bigger, more beautiful bloom, or that your bloom's going to last longer, or whatever it is that your goal is. But if you let that flower bloom naturally and have all of that energy, it's going to be that much more rewarding for you and the flower, because it'll be right. It'll happen at the right time instead of a forced time. Because that's the other thing. A lot of times you talk to people and they're like, nothing in my life is working out. Everything is frustrating, constantly hitting brick walls. Well, if you're constantly shoveling into a brick wall, like, oh, I gotta do this, I gotta do this, I gotta do this, I gotta do this, then you're just shoveling into the brick wall and you're not going to get anywhere. But if you stop and you take a step back and you look around, like, where am I shoveling? What am I doing? Why am I doing this? What is driving me to do that? Why? What? How? Then you start to see a solution. You start to see the garden instead of the brick wall, and you can put that growth and you can do something new, or you can do it in a new way. A lot of people think that, oh, if I try this and I do this spell and it doesn't work, then that's it, I'm done. Especially with prosperity spells, people are like, I did a prosperity spell and it didn't work. Magic doesn't work. First of all, prosperity is not give me money. There are spells that are give me money, and sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. But it depends on the practitioner and what you're doing and what the energies around you want you to have and how that's all going and blah, blah, blah. There's so many factors. You can't just be like, give me money. And then there's money on the table in front of you. If that was the case, we would all have lots of money. And money wouldn't be worth anything. Just... So... if you're doing a prosperity spell and you do the spell and you have the patience and you focus and then you do the things that you need to do to also make sure that that spell comes to fruition, then it'll happen and you'll get the prosperity you need and everything will work out and you'll be okay. But you have to have patience. If you do the prosperity spell and you put the basil on the candle with the cinnamon oil, oh, don't do that. It might be dangerous. I think cinnamon oil is combustible. But if you do the thing and you get it all there and you have everything and you chant that I need prosperity to pay these bills and you do it and you do it and you do it, and then all you do is sit there and focus on this spell. I did the spell, it's going to work. I did the spell, it's going to work. It's not going to work. It's like suffocating something. It's like overwatering a plant. Actually, that's a great analogy for it. It really is like overwatering a plant because you could just keep pouring water on it and keep pouring water on it. And if all you're doing is pouring water on it, like, why won't you grow? Why won't you grow? Why won't you grow? It's not going to grow. You're going to drown it out. Nothing's going to happen. If you do the deal and you plant the seed and you give it the right amount of water and you step back and you let it do its thing, thinking happy thoughts, that's going to do its thing. I'm going to do my thing. We're all going to do our thing. We'll all be patient and everything will work out. Then it'll work out. And I think that's true of meditation also, not just with your spell work. A lot of people are like, I can't meditate. I give up. I gave up at one point. I was like, I can't do this. And then I realized that while I was walking the 20 minutes it took me to walk to work at the time, that whole 20 minutes I was meditating. I wasn't thinking about what I needed to do that day or what I had to get done, because in that 20-minute walk, there was nothing else I could do. Walk to work. I was left with 30 minutes so that I had a little bit of time, and that was it. That's all I could do. And during that walk, I started meditating. Because I was doing this twice a day, it became very habitual to where every day for that 20 minutes, I was in that moment. I was focused on the squirrels or the leaves or the trees or the wind or the whatever with my feet on the sidewalk. Not thinking about all of everything else and just being present in that moment. And then it clicked. I'm like, oh my God, I'm meditating. Every day I am practicing mindfulness, being in this moment, calming my mind, centering, grounding, focusing, meditation. And so it just kind of happened that, and I realized that I didn't have to sit down and say, and do that. I still have trouble doing that because my brain is like, you have 1,000 other things to do. Why are you sitting here doing this? However, when I'm doing the dishes, when I'm working in my garden, when I'm driving, which kind of sometimes I get lost. Like, I don't get lost. I just miss my turn sometimes. But it's not that I'm like off in la la land. The point of meditation is to be grounded and focused in this moment. And once you can ground and focus and be in this moment, then you can do other things with your meditation. Then you can say, okay, I am going to meditate on stillness. And that's what you're doing. You're meditating on still thoughts. Om is a certain frequency, and it aligns with the specific energy of the earth, and that is the energy you're returning to you in your Om. And you're meditating on that stillness. You can do guided meditation from there because you're grounded, you're centered, you're focused on this moment. Okay, now let me open up into a guided meditation. Let me experience water through these different aspects, through this. But you have to have that patience. If you start at the beginning and you're like, I'm going to do this, and today I'm going to do this 45-minute meditation on water, you are not, okay, I always say this, like, you're not going to be able to do that. And then, of course, somebody's going to be like, I did it. And that's fine. There are people who can do that. But as a general rule of thumb, you're not going to just, okay, let's do a 45-minute meditation, stay focused, stay grounded, stay into it, and really get 110% out of it. Instead, start smaller. Be patient with yourself. Be patient with your practice. Just know that you have this ability, and however, some things are going to be really easy. Some people have a green thumb. Some people are really good at memorizing what rocks are what. Recognizing herbs, memorizing information. I love that. Some people are really good at memorizing information, and then you be talking to them about something, they're like, oh, I have all this information memorized. That's great. Now let's utilize it. Let's put it to use. Let's be patient with ourselves. Let's focus on what we're doing. Let's be in the moment. But mostly just have patience for yourself. Have patience for your practice. Have patience for your life. As a parent, I get frustrated a lot because I just want things to work out, and then I got 3 kids, and it doesn't happen that way. There's too many bodies in one place for everything to be perfect, and gotta have that patience. So I just ask for you all to give yourself a little time, be patient with yourself, have faith that everything's going to work out, and know that you can achieve whatever it is that you desire as long as you have that patience with yourself. So, as always, let me know if you have any questions, comments, concerns, all of those things. I'm always here and available to answer questions. You can find me on Twitter, and I will talk to you all again tomorrow. Have a great Saturday. Blessed be.